What is good, Ninja? OG over here from Player Essence, and welcome to another PE News. Today, we have a discussion on the Nintendo Switch and just the overall state of the Japanese industry based off of the recent media create. I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. We're also going to be discussing how some LABO units are going out early at some locations, and we also have a brand new announcement when it comes to Class of Heroes Anniversary Edition for the Nintendo Switch that's been announced. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And we are starting off with the media create sales chart. So if you haven't noticed, there's been a little bit of a dipping trend when it comes to the Japanese industry, despite big games coming out for the PlayStation 4. Now, the Nintendo Switch isn't immune to this as well, and the Nintendo 3DS, yes, it's been dipping, but it's the Nintendo 3DS. It's been out for what, 7 years now or something like that, so that's understandable. But to see the PlayStation 4 kind of dipping the way it is, and to see the Nintendo Switch kind of not getting some of that third-party support, which has probably led to lowered sales over the past couple months or so, it is somewhat concerning. Not necessarily for the Nintendo Switch's part, but just overall for the industry. I'm not trying to point out one thing or another, but I wanted to talk about this because I thought this was a great discussion, because I've discussed the media create sales charts like a million times on here. You guys know that I really cover Japanese news quite a bit on here, and this is the first time that I'm really looking at the charts and seeing the sales and saying, okay, there might be something wrong here. And the reason why I'm saying that is mainly focused on the PlayStation 4, although I do feel that the Nintendo Switch would be doing better if it got some of the games the PS4 is getting, but it's understandable considering the type of time frame that a lot of these games are coming out on, and the fact that the Nintendo Switch is still selling above 30,000 units each week, even in a slow period, which the first half of the year usually is slower for the most part without the bigger games coming out, is understandable. But with the PlayStation 4, I don't really see how it's understandable at all. People have given all sorts of excuses, such as there's a shortage or there's some type of a thing that's going on with PlayStation 4 units in Japan, but that hasn't really been substantiated by anything factual. And if you look at the sales for the past week, you look at the PlayStation 4 and it sold barely 10,000 units, which you have the base PS4 selling 9,491, and then you also had the PlayStation 4 Pro selling 1,473 units. And the reason why I'm kind of pointing this out just a bit is because of all the games that it's getting. And I know I discussed this beforehand, but I thought it would be an interesting discussion to kind of focus everything and kind of hone in on why and the future of Japan when it comes to it. So we've seen all the big games come out for the PlayStation 4, right, this year. It's been crazy. Monster Hunter World, you've had Dragon Ball FighterZ, you've also had Ni no Kuni, Valkyria Chronicles, Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, there's been Shadow of the Colossus. There's just been a ton of games, and there's even more. I'm not even talking about everything. There's even more. There's like Super Robot Tyson or something like that came out for it. That one crossover with Fist of the North Star, that game also came out. So there's just been tons of games. I mean, in this first 4 months, there has been at least, I would say, 10 to 12 big games. So the PlayStation 4 has been getting at least 3 to 4 big games a month, pretty much starting out here, which is understandable. 5th year or going into the 5th year for the PlayStation 4. So yeah, a lot of developers are releasing their games that have been in development for the past 3 or 4 years, but to see the sales, even with all of these games, dip to under 11,000 units, in the 10,000 units range, is a little bit concerning for the future of dedicated home consoles. So my question to you guys, which I really didn't talk about much or ask you guys about, is what is the future of Japan? Do you guys feel that the hybrid or the portable is the only way to make sure or to ensure that your system is a long-term success over various years? Because yes, the PlayStation 4 is getting a bit long in the tooth in Japan, but at the same time, like I said, look at all these games that are coming out. Like, imagine if the Nintendo Switch had all the games that I just talked about here with Monster Hunter World and all those games. Like, think of how much the sales would have been. And the Switch has been outselling the PS4 despite having nowhere near the amount of software that it has for this first year in Japan. Outside of Monster Hunter, yes, Monster Hunter came out, it did absolutely gangbusters, but it was over, I think, 6 figures that one first week, and then it kind of dipped below, then just started dropping rapidly when it comes to the actual PlayStation 4 unit sales. And we saw the same thing with Dragon Quest 11. We've seen the same thing with these big Japanese IPs where you see a big bump and then it just drops down, and there's not enough consistency in between despite there being tons of great software. So that makes me think that traditional gaming consoles, so set-top boxes or whatever the case is, that don't move, that aren't hybrids or aren't dedicated portables, might be completely dead after this generation. It's looking to be that way, because I have never seen a system in terms of, for Japanese sales, which I've been looking at the media create for I think around 7 years now, since 2011 or 2012, something like that. I know I've been looking at it for a long time, and I've never seen this much content come to a system in Japan, this much acclaimed content. So we're talking really good scores in Famitsu and everything. I've never seen this much content come to a system and it sell this bad outside of that one big game, which was Monster Hunter. But after that, just pretty much down, down, down. Monster Hunter only had about a 5-week period to where it actually kept sales up, and then Nintendo Switch was right back above it with literally no real big exclusives outside of, I think, Kirby for Japan, because we're talking about the Japanese industry. Now, once again, guys, I want to make sure that I say this just so I don't have people in the comment section. I know, like, when it comes to US, America, and when it comes to, like, Europe, I know good and well PS4 is fine. I'm not saying the PS4 is in trouble, Sony's gonna go out of business or anything like that. We all know that set-top boxes, normal, traditional home consoles are absolutely fine across the world, but Japan, that's where we're focusing on when it comes to this, because we actually have the sales numbers here that we can see and analyze and kind of go through. And I'm just looking at it and thinking, wow, like, if Nintendo was ever thinking about making another normal traditional console, they really shouldn't, because these sales numbers are pretty disappointing for a system that's gotten this much content from Japanese developers, from major franchises, Dragon Ball Z, Monster Hunter, all the stuff that we talked about, Ni no Kuni, all of that. This is definitely not good. So going forward, I think Nintendo really needs to make sure that they stick with this whole hybrid thing, and maybe far in the future, Sony makes some type of hybrid that's for Japan, then you can also import it or something like that, that can play digital games from PS5 or whatever the case is. I think maybe they'll do that in the distant future, but at the same time, if you're like Nintendo, I don't think you ever go back to a traditional home console that doesn't play games portably as well. Otherwise, this might be your fate when it comes to all these great games coming and not getting the sales that you deserve. So maybe the Wii U is a little bit of a precursor of that as well. It wasn't portable enough when it came to it. I don't think games were the only issue when it came to third party in terms of Japan. So what do you guys think about this when it comes to a little bit of the discussion on the Japanese sales? What do you guys think is causing the slump? Do you feel that hybrids are the future when it comes to Japan? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the next topic here, we're not going to spend too much time on this one, but some Walmart locations are actually selling Nintendo LABO early. So Target jumped the gun apparently, and now it looks like Walmart is getting in on the action. So if you want to potentially go out there and pick up a Nintendo LABO unit early, because it doesn't launch till April 20th, which is Friday, you can actually see if you can go out and pick up one. Now, I haven't been to my local Walmart yet in the gaming section. I've been there this week, but I haven't been in the gaming section. I just get what food I need to get, then leave, because I have to come back here and do some work and edit and stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to check to see if they're out there early, but there's been a number of reports out there saying that people are picking up Nintendo LABO variety kits. I'm not sure about the big robot kit, but people are picking up the variety kits and already playing Nintendo LABO. Did any of you guys pick up the Nintendo LABO early? How are you guys liking it so far, and are any of you guys planning on picking it up? I think I'm going to go pick it up. I'm probably going to wait just a little bit before I do, just because this week is God of War. I'm going to be streaming that like crazy. So God of War, and I also picked up Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete edition. I got both of those games for $80 total, which was really cool. The Best Buy Gamers Club is just too strong, but yeah, I'm going to be playing those games, so I'm not going to have too much time, but I'll probably pick it up next week at some point so me and my daughter can play it, or at least try. I'm horrible at arts and crafts and that type of stuff. I'll probably pick it up next week at some point. So what do you guys think about Nintendo LABO so far? Are you guys gonna pick it up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving into the final topic here, Class of Heroes Anniversary Edition has been announced for the Nintendo Switch. So this is due out April 26th in Japan. Now, Acquire is bringing its dungeon RPG series Class of Heroes to the Nintendo Switch with Class of Heroes Anniversary Edition. The latest issue of Weekly Famitsu reveals it will launch on April 26th in Japan for 2,759 yen, presumably via the Nintendo eShop, given that the release date is really soon here, guys. So Class of Heroes Anniversary Edition includes a new mode that features a collection of rare images and background music. That's interesting. Now, if you don't know what Class of Heroes is, it is a PSP game that launched in Japan back in August 2008. Atlas published the game in North America in August 2009. Now you can get a little bit of an overview of the game here. It is a dungeon RPG, so homeroom with 10 races, 2 genders, 3 alignments, and 15 majors. There are over 500 character possibilities available, over 75 maps packed with puzzles, traps, and treasure for over 80 hours of dungeon crawling adventure, robust alchemy system with over 400 recipes that allow you to create and customize new items and equipment. So it's a little bit of a Atelier, a little bit of like the Mystery Dungeon series, dungeon crawling, so it seems pretty cool. Now there's a lot more if you want to read up on this game. There's tons of more information that you can check out, and I've never heard about it. I did not know that it launched for the PSP back in the day. I didn't know Atlas published it back then. I didn't really play a ton of PSP back then. I just played when I could because I was in college and my buddy Andre, he actually had one, so I just played Crisis Core and whatever he had on the system. So I might check it out, not really sure, but it does seem kind of cool for those who like the dungeon crawling, Atelier type of games. This might be the game for you on the Nintendo Switch. Now there is an official English site, so I do think that it'll launch on the eShop pretty soon here within the next week or so, but we'll just have to wait for the official confirmation. But there is an official English site. We just know that Japan is going to be April 26th. But we just do know that for Japan it's going to be April 26th. So what do you guys think about Class of Heroes for the Nintendo Switch, in addition to LABO being sold early and the whole situation that's going down with the media create in Japan? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Really helps us spread the content of Player Essence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming page and consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you for the next video. Peace.